the more that I do not decide what I want to do, the more the universe cannot serve me because I am not being clear. I'm being so wobbly with my energy. I'm kind of like, why don't you just show me? And the universe is like, why don't you just tell me? Today, we're going to talk about what we have in store for your July forecast through the human design transits. I'm Sasha Pearl, the energy architect, and I guide soloed women in building authentic six-figure businesses by aligning their identity, their brand, and their content using my highly potent method because I believe that our greatest currency is our fullest expression. So let's get into it. I've had a really big June in the sense of I moved into a new place with my boyfriend who is officially moving in on July 1 when this launches. Crazy. And we're going to have two kitty fur babies and then two dogs and two humans in a townhouse, which is going to be interesting in and of itself. So I'm really interested to see how the navigation of combining homes, combining everything in our lives together and how it will transform our relationship. And then I had my first paid speaking gig that wasn't my local community the next day after I moved in. And that was a very beautiful experience. I think that when I was there, I drove all the way down to Portland, and when I was there, I felt so like, wow, this is what I'm meant to be doing. Like every time I think about my higher self, anytime I do any envisioning, all I see is me on stage speaking. And that is just fucking wild because as Lindsay, when I was Lindsay, I was terrified of public speaking, of anyone knowing any of my thoughts or my own individual expression in the world. And through this whole past year of changing my name, changing my entire identity, all I want to do is that. All I want to do is feel fully expressed in the world. I want to share the things that I know about human design. I want to share that the more that we can be us in the world, the better the world is going to be. And I don't know, I just feel so fucking lit up by it. And I think I talked about this on the June forecast too. In May for my birthday, I had a bunch of birthday readings, and it just kept coming back down to the three core things, which was speaking, identity, and visibility. And you know, how all of those things evolve beats me, but I thought that was really fascinating. June has been a massive month for me. I have moved into the townhouse that I'm going to be with my boyfriend, and he moves in July 1. Crazy. So it's going to be like officially official in July. I had my first paid speaking gig in Portland, Oregon at the beginning of the month, like the day after I moved into my place. And that was just like this radical experience because I was talking to a group of C-suite women executives about energetics and how to lead from within. Like bonkers because I've had such a, tumultuous time in the corporate world or previously. And it's just so cool to have been like having their time for an hour to talk about human design and energetics and how they can become better leaders by being themselves. Crazy, dude. Like dreams fucking come true. I cannot explain to you how cool that is. And then I had like 12 different guests on the podcast in June. So I like really went ham with it. And it's just so beautiful to connect with like-minded women who are sharing their magic in the world because I always say I'm like the most selfish thing that you can do is gatekeep your magic because someone needs your medicine and only you can offer it to them. And I had so many other things that happened too. The cat got lost, like that was random. I found out my health insurance it like doesn't exist anymore. And then I burnt my mouth. It was like things were just happening where I'm like, where's the ease here? Where's the ease? It's just like, it felt like I was like juggling a bunch of balls and then they were like falling and spewing all over the place. And I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing? So that's just a little update of the chaos that June brought, thinking June was going to be like, really like, oh, so fun, so good. And really, it was not that. It just wasn't that for me. And I'm really calling it an easeful July. But I also feel like there's this sense it's like we are hitting the half point of the year. I have committed to sobriety as a 36-year-old, which I've had a mulligan, so we'll talk about that in a moment. My parents came to visit and I had a drink. But it's not about the failure, it's about getting up and starting again. So, we're starting again, and that's going to be great. And we're going to stick to it this time, right? So there's something about this halfway point where it's like this big reset. I feel like Q1 and Q2 were really this, like, I don't know, Q1 was really good. Q2 has been kind of weird for me. And so I feel like going into Q3, it's like, okay, you've integrated a bunch, as Sasha have integrated a bunch of stuff within their business. I have feel like I've focused and narrowed my vision into what do I want to create with Design to Be Human? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And the more that I do not decide what I want to do, the more the universe cannot serve me because I am not being clear. I'm being so wobbly with my energy. I'm kind of like, why don't you just show me? And the universe is like, why don't you just tell me? And so I just am really going to go bam, diggity damn. Content creation, paid speaking gigs, and as many consultations as I can get underneath my belt so I can really understand who's the audience that I'm attracting. What are their pains? What are their desires? Like I know what mine are. I'm helping the people, past versions of myself in these rooms, but I also just need to get really clear on like what am I actually offering? What am I offering? And today I sat down and I also have updated my website. So I was like, this feels like an older version of Sasha, past like Lindsay and early Sasha era. And I was like, I really want it to be more bold. And so I kind of went in and started updating all of the gradients and whatnot. And then I was also like, the messaging is still like not there. It's fully like just not there. So I went and I was like, what am I? I was like, at the end of the day, even if I wanted to focus on helping people with their own identity and visibility through the lens of human design and utilizing human design as a tool, I it's also part of branding and personal branding. And I'm like, I like love branding. I love diving deep into your soul and excavating out this like vision of who you are in the world. Like it's just like something that I love. And I'm like, I don't know if I can actually put that down. But I was like, "What am I? Who am I?" Right? And today when I was doing this, like, exercise, I was like, "Okay, what is it?" And what came through was this human first branding studio, and I was like, "Yeah, human first branding studio is what I have." And it's all about creating brands from the inside out. And I'm like, I can get behind that. I think in all of the pivots, I think that describes exactly what I do on such a deep level. And it can be broad enough to where I can honor all the tools and all the modalities that I use and my natural giftings and all the technical skills that I have underneath those umbrellas. Then I was like, well, what's my tagline now? And I was like, "You know what?" I was like, "Your fullest expression is your greatest currency." Like, all I care about is you getting fully expressed in the world. And I'm like, that's because when you are actually in alignment with who you are meant to be and what your soul's mission here, and when you remember what your soul's mission is, you are operating from such a higher frequency and you're in alignment with everything inherently causing magnetism, the right opportunities, the money to flow to you. So that is my new tagline. That is what I'm leading with. And then I'm going in, getting a little bit more niche here. And my value proposition now is guiding solid women in health and wellness to build authentic 6-figure businesses by aligning their identity, brand, and business from the inside out using my highly potent method. So I'm feeling really strongly I'm like, this feels like the meat of it. And then the rest of the website needs to catch up because I'm like, I don't know. But essentially, I did this brand audit with the brand CEO. She created this bullseye brand report, which I don't think is fully launched yet. She's still in beta, but it was really interesting. Some of the key moments that were pulled out, like the inside out, was like, yeah, that's exactly it. And so, but one of the main points that she wrote in the report, she was like, your website does not reflect the boldness and how you speak naturally. And I was like, interesting. That is probably true. But it's because I have cobbled together fucking copy from so many pivots and so many past versions of myself. So I'm getting the look and feel together. The core messaging is together. Like, what are the 3 things I'm going to offer? That needs to be figured out still, and I think I need to do that by just hopping on calls with people and be like, "How can I actually fucking support you?" And then we're gonna go from there. But all I know is that anything that I do must come down to 3 things. It either has to do with speaking, has to do with identity work around visibility, fear of being seen, self-doubt, any of those things, and then it has to be around branding or content creation. Right, and that branding content creation can go under branding. So I'm playing with that. So there's, like, another bigger pivot and opening here, but I just wanna get just feels like all I want is this, like, foundation to be set so I can then go and just create the content that I need because I'm so fucking clear on what I'm actually offering, where I've been kind of like, "Well, maybe this, maybe that, maybe that, maybe," and experimenting, which is fine, and I'm so happy that I've done that, and also I still I feel like with all the experimentation, there hasn't been enough clarity for me to be like, "And this is what we're doing." So it's always interesting how I keep going back to branding, but I think it's just such a crucial part of like how I communicate in the world through visuals. So, long story short, Jesus Christ, with this new website coming online, with understanding what I really want to focus on, I have decided to partner with Lexi Chang, who is a cosmic identity astrologer, and we're creating a workshop called Self Express. So understanding your 7 placements to magnetic content, and this is for personal brands, content creators, any online businesses who are deep into understanding that strategy can only take you so far. You also need the other part, which is the energy. And we're going to be giving you a framework, a formula to use to in real time. It's going to be a workshop to put together what you share about how you can make your environments feel as good as possible, right? And so we're going to be launching that for in Leo season, which we're very excited about. I will put the link to the waitlist in the show notes, but I highly recommend signing up for the waitlist. Early bird pricing will launch soon here too, and that's going to be the best deal that you'll get on the workshop. So I'm really excited about it. I think we both just really understand that being expressed in the world is so incredibly important to people's souls. Right. Those are my updates, which was oversharing. You're welcome. July's forecast energetically. So I really again want to bring all of this back into visibility, content ideas, content creation. In June, I signed up for a Yap challenge with Jessie Jane Home, which if anyone is on the internet, she has gone fucking batty viral again. She has made over $3 million launching a 6-week Yap challenge. She did 1.25 million in the first 2 weeks. Then she did 1.25 million in the first 70 minutes of launching and is now, on her way into 3.5 million. God knows how long. I don't know how long she's keeping those doors open. But this is literally the power of content creation on the internet, especially when you are building a community that is in alignment to who you are energetically. And I'm part of this Yap challenge as well because I was like, I love a good challenge. First of all, it keeps me on track. Second of all, Jessie Jean's dope as fuck. Third of all, I was like very curious to see who was in this like community and talking and seeing what other people are doing. And in the course itself, she talks about like, it's all about the vibes, all about the vibes, all about the vibes. It's your energy. It's about your energy. It's not about the content. It's about the energy. It's people who want to sit with you in your content. So speak to your phone like it's your bestie. Right. And so when she talks about this, I'm just like, all I can think about is like, yes, it's always about the energy. It's like, how aligned can you get so you inherently attract all of the opportunities to you? It's just top of mind for people right now, which is really cool to see. So I just wanted to ground it in like energy is what is actually selling, right, for you, right? Like, yes, you can have all the information in the world, but anyone can go to ChatGPT to get it. People are buying products from you because they want to spend time with you, because they want to learn from you specifically because of your unique perspective, right? And so when you layer on the fun you, the joyful you, the happy you, the playful you, and you make learning fun and like, hey, we're doing this together, that is where everything starts really shifting. And so that is going to be the power of the workshop that we're creating, but also this is what we're going to be talking about in the July forecast. So, for in the July forecast, we have gate 39 happening from July 2nd to July 7th. And that is all about the gate of provoking, right? It's about being really playful and getting people back into the hearts of who they are. And it's kind of like a spice level 10 energy. So, how can we create content in a way that's going to be the hot take, the spicy take, the kind of playful, cheeky jest take in the content that we have? And how can you be a little bit more playful in the relationships that you are bopping around with? Then we move into gate 53, which is the gate of beginnings. And that happens from the 8th until the 12th. And both of these gates are in the root center. So the root center is a pressure center and it involves stress and overwhelm with like your to-do list. So if you have this open, you're going to feel more conditioned, more pressured by other people who have this defined. If you have this defined, then you are going to feel very good under high pressure situations. I am the first. So when my to-do list gets really long, I start going into stress and overwhelm and like too much. Too much things happen. So when this gate, if you already have this gate, you are already like, it's not going to feel any different. But if you do not have these gates, then it's going to be like, oh, okay, I'm feeling a different way now. So with gate 53, it is the gate of beginnings. So how can you bring freshness to the content that you're creating? How can you create a new angle, a new perspective of the thing you have already been talking about? Maybe if you sit in one seat, you sit in another seat, but how do you actually build a world that's it could be 1% different than what you've been doing, or it can be a complete 180. So how can you begin again and create fresh? Because Gate 53 loves fresh ideas. It loves beginning new things. So maybe it's a new content series. Maybe it's, oh, I have been doing reels. I'm going to start doing carousels. But how do you do something differently where your brain is like, oh, this was fresh and fun and new? That's going to really help supply this like extra energy during this time in your content creation. And then we move into the throat center for the rest of the gates happening. And the throat center in human design is where your manifestation and your communication lives. So those yapping videos are going to be doing really well in July. Okay. And so when you have a consistent access to your throat, you have a consistent way of speaking. I have this, so I have a defined throat. I have a consistent way of speaking and showing up. If you have an undefined throat, you have this opportunity to be the voice of other people. You have this opportunity to be in groups and then be able to speak to the thing that's top of mind in people because you are literally amplifying the throat centers of other people, right? And so this can either have a tendency to overtalk or talk too little, right? So finding the balance, just being aware that your throat is meant to be more in flow and nonlinear as an open throat human being. So when we move into gate 62, it's all about understanding the facts and details about things. So this could be a great opportunity to, when you were before, oh, I'm going to start this new series, I'm going to go do this new thing. Now diving into like the research and the details of things, because what gate 62 is really good at is taking very complex ideas and distilling them down into very simple frameworks. So this is going to be a great time to come up with your like a method, a framework, or something that are people, because when they're on social media, like, dude, people are like, woo woo woo, a squirrel, like they're no one's like fully in it, right? Unless you like get them at the first scroll or something, right? So how can we make content as easy as possible for us to make and for our ideal clients to receive? So simplify, simplify, simplify during the 13th through the 18th and anything that you're creating there. And this also, when I'm talking about content, I am speaking about social media, but you can also take this into your email, your marketing, all the campaigns that you're running. Like you can also be playing around with that type of energy too. And then, okay, and to gate 56, which is the gate of stimulation. So this is all about storytelling. This really communicates, imagination and creativity. It's really here to bring meaningful insights into the world by extracting from the true essence of the story or the experience that you've had. So this is someone who is going to be very textural in their language. Think about like, oh, it's just a loaf of bread. And then when you have this energy, it's like, no, it's this magical rainbow with unicorns and this, and it flies and it's like a dragon. Like that's a type of information that we're going with for 56. So how imaginative can you get with telling a different story about your brand, your life, or taking a different take on it, right? So this is going to be a very creative time for you to just explore what is the story that I'm really trying to tell here. And not from an I, but how can I serve you more, your ideal clients more with the stories and lived experiences that you have had? Then we move into gate 31, which is the gate of leading, and it's all about influential energy. So there's no need to try to influence other people. The energy is that people are inherently going to feel influenced by you. You're really going to have a lot of confidence. You're going to have, people are going to be really drawn to you when you speak, right? And because all the last few gates that I've talked about are from the throat center, this is going to be a really, really good time. I know you might want to do B-roll content, but I'm just saying it's going to be a really good time for people to really hear your voice. And then we move into gate 33, which is like the last day of July, July 31st. And then we move into August. So we'll do the rest of the gates for August, for the August forecast. And gate 33 is the gate of privacy. So you spent this entire month going through, being this really playful, provoking person, starting a new series, then getting to the details of your series. And then you have this like storytelling aspect. And then you're creating this influence by showing up consistently all month. And then with gate 33, people want to share their stories with you. Okay. So maybe it's just like time, it's the gate of privacy. So, how can you hold the stories for you to integrate them into your body, into your knowing? Because I think gate 33 is going to set you up for whatever August has to bring. It's about this like deep reflection of everything that you've experienced in July. And what a beautiful way to end July, none other than reflecting and reflecting on the month that it brought. I would just start tracking everything. If you are going to go all in on content, if you're going to say, I decide I want to be visible this month, go in and start tracking things. What does your increased focus on showing up, creating content, sharing what you know, invaluable information with your audience? What did that bring you? Did it bring you more connections in your DMs? Did it bring you more followers? Did a reel go viral? Are you having fun creating content? Have you created a framework and a process that you feel really, really good about? These are things that you want to mark and keep track of so you can understand, wow, this effort is actually moving the needle forward, because here's the thing. If you're putting in effort and it's pushing you back, that's not going to be moving you forward, right? And so how can you move into really honoring the work and effort that you're putting in, right? And this new intention that you are going to be setting. There's something that you are starting though this month in the Gate of Beginnings that I would love for you to track and see like, oh, wow, my curiosity really led me somewhere. And these were the specific results from that. I'd be very curious to see what shows up for you. Because for me, I have a tendency to start a bunch of, I have gate 53 just naturally in my chart. I have this tendency to just start things and then get bored or don't do them or forget about it and be like, oh my God, I was so excited about that like literally 2 hours ago and I forgot about it. And then I just like put it away and I'll start it again like 2 months later. But what if I actually just kept following the joy and remembered that, oh yeah, I did choose this, and I have already put in all of this effort to create a system around something to not use it. What happened if I actually used it? What would actually change? And so being able to track where you started and where you end, I mean, we're in a constant wheel over and over and over again, but to see the differences. And it could even be, hey, now that I show up and I'm in front of a camera, easy peasy. Love it. Give me that microphone. We love a good mic here, you know? So that is the July forecast. I really hope. Actually, I want to pull a card for you guys. I'm going to use the Wisdom of the Oracle Divination cards. Let's see if there's any final messages for ya. Dear Divine, what does the collective need to know? Ooh. Okay. And the deck has said it. Whatever is going to happen this month is going to be fated for you. Okay. This is like one of them. I love this. I love receiving this card. She even has wings. So, whatever you're starting in July, keep track of it. See what comes and what becomes of you because you decided to stay true to your commitments. Okay. So, that's all for now. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.